Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex and today we're going to be taking a look at Shin-chan, me and the Professor on Summer Vacation, the Endless 7-Day Journey, and it's got quite the title, that is for sure, but can it do the beloved manga and anime justice? Well, that's what I'm here to find out, so hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. Before we do get into this then, if you do pick this up, consider heading to cornershop.gg and use code CORNER for 10% off eShop gift cards at checkout. That way you'll save a little bit of extra cash and the channel of course gets a small kickback. Story then, and here we'll be following a title as Shin-chan, a young 5-year-old and his family on a vacation that's doubling as an opportunity to help out some family friends. Now from what I've gathered, Shin-chan is a nickname with Shinnosuke being his full name, but please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. It's worth knowing here then as well, it is a beloved manga and anime as I said, but it's also my personal first experience with it, so I'll also be addressing if this is going to be good for newcomers as well. If the manga and the anime though is anything like this game, I can see why he's such a loved character. There's an extremely strong sense of humour to him, but it often kind of crosses over enough into, let's say, adult territory that it can appeal to a wider age range. There's basically some snappy comebacks at his parents and this apparent love for the women that surround him. A big subplot here, in fact, it's getting a date with a local girl. Anyways, we are heading out of town. Arriving at the town of Asso, we meet a professor. He asks you to be a test subject for his latest invention, that is a camera that instantly turns the pictures taken into drawings. This will be doubling up as an opportunity to capture snaps of your adventure to cap off each day in kind of this handy little scrapbook that's going to be documenting this journey. I do want to avoid spoilers as well, but the camera definitely plays a bigger part. From here though, things just get stranger and stranger. It goes off the rails, dinosaurs appear in town. The professor, he's supposedly built a machine to bring them here. You need to get to the bottom of this. Also then at the same time you'll be exploring, meeting the locals, making friends, helping out the families around town, even partaking in some what I'd call a very minor turn-based combats. It's all very light stuff, but honestly really enjoyed it. I've purposely avoided spoilers, so do know some of these narratives, they expand quite a bit, but it's just simplistic gameplay and a relaxing setting. It's definitely got its hooks into me though, and that's no doubt mainly down to what is this incredibly likeable cast of characters with some strong writing. I do wish they had taken the time though to explain the but-only alien sprinting in the game. We'll get to that a little later in gameplay in the video. Yeah, my only negative honestly on this narrative, really like some of the animations and pictures kind of into this family's routine, thinking morning exercise, breakfast, bath time and so on, but some of the dialogue in these key scenes, it can repeat pretty frequently. Gameplay then, for me, it most resembles what is a slice of life experience. It's relatively low stakes and simplistic with its control scheme, but the world has enough occurring that it's very easy to waste away the hours. Controls here though, simple movement on the left stick or the D-pad, you'll interact with the A button, and then you can sprint. That is the aforementioned but-only alien with said Alan. I'm not quite sure how this works honestly, he appears to tuck himself into his own. But you can also then though pull out and swing a bug net with the left and the right trigger. Now that's also one of the first few mechanics you learn in here. Capture the local wildlife, document all of the species and varieties that you can find. They have a handy little like flash should they be something new for your documentation. The one warning with this gameplay element, I did play handheld and at times these bugs can be tiny on screen and somewhat challenging to spot as well. So as you do go in, maybe be a little bit more, I guess, aware of your surroundings. It's a simple system though, it quickly introduces a collectathon element to the gameplay and it just kind of starts to expand from here. You know, alongside this you will quickly learn to fish at most water edges, you get 2 rod types to experiment with. This is also extremely simple though, you need to wait for the bait to bob in the water before tapping that A button to reel them in. Again, another collectathon, but it's used as well to complete a few quests. The loop of gameplay here though, it's those collectathons matched up then with what I'd call completion of quests or episodes as they are called in the game. You need to basically solve these to reach those end credits. Everything else though, it is optional padding should you want to face it, but that's Where it surprised me the most is why I mentioned it first in the video. I couldn't help but get suckered into some of its more simplistic tasks. The exploration then, it will reveal a decently sized cast of characters to interact with, and the majority get a generous enough screen time that they never feel undercut. As you go through your days then, the only real concern you will have is a stamina meter that's displayed in the top right of the screen. This depletes with movement, but only as you change screen to screen. These are very much static camera angles, so do be aware of that as you are running around town. Run out of that stamina though, really no cost. You'll return to your family friend's home and it will advance the day a little bit, but you can immediately get back out there and kind of go after whatever quest you was completing. There's really no weight to the system, nor should there be. I even actually used it to my advantage, in fact, on a few occasions when I simply wanted to advance through the day quicker. In the evenings then, you'll be called for dinner, and then you can head out and explore again at night, where a bar location comes to life, and some of that wildlife as well that you are hunting, it definitely will change. I just enjoyed the setup of each day though. It's very regimented, it's very much demonstrating the family traditions and values. Morning exercises gradually introduce a larger cast that want to be involved, and dinner time is everyone around the table. That's before bath time and bed once you've wrapped up the scrapbook. The breakfast moments, in fact, they double as basically clues to what your mission is for that day. That said though, it just made that gameplay loop so easy to pick up and put down, so if you want like 10-15 minutes here and there, this is a very game to achieve that with. The main story though, it's really restoring the newspaper to its former glory and those dinosaurs. Really enjoyed both. You'll add these photos that you take to your scrapbook, then you'll choose a short form or long form description and present them to the editor. This, amongst many of the tasks as well, it will reward you with pocket money, and that can be spent on a few items, which is essentially snacks, to restore that stamina. You can also then farm in this world should you want to, though I will say it's very undercooked here. The only interaction is the watering can. I actually only did this once in my playthrough. You can get takeout orders, as the home you're staying at actually doubles as a restaurant as well, and then you can head into the turn-based battles as well. These are amongst kids at a secret hideout. It's nothing more than rock, paper, scissors with a special ability as well. Surprisingly enjoyed this though, and I did partake in the game's tournaments. Again though, gonna say this, nothing here is high stakes, but it comes together to make something, honestly, that I thought was incredibly enjoyable. It's just kind of charming and relaxed. My first playthrough, it took me 6 hours, but it packs objectives too, and I'd see these as almost built-in achievements, and there was a huge amount to still do, like collect all the different bugs or maximize the newspaper subscriber base. It also has a New Game Plus, which carries over progress and the majority of your items, though I'm avoiding specifically what due to spoilers. Accessing New Game Plus though, I will say that is a little weird. You're booted to the main menu, but there's actually no New Game Plus option. You need to go to your save files and look for the one detailed as completed game. You can't save at any time either. It is the end of each day at bedtime only. Problems? Very few, honestly. I think it achieves exactly what it set out to do, a simplistic exploration game, and while initially I did find I'd say the world was a little small, it does open up with progression as well. It's never huge, but it was a much needed injection of variety around the halfway mark of the game. Also, given the single screen setup, just occasionally the angles can be a little awkward as you move, and I did have a few moments where I kept on, jumping between the same two instead of going the direction I needed. I wouldn't call these problems then, but rather you'll need to get used to it, and that is the sprinting. It is incredibly fast and hard to handle initially, and then the dinosaurs, they can actually step on you when you're exploring. It's not like you can die in the game, but it causes this kind of quick forced dialogue sequence that pushes you out of the way, and it does get a tad annoying. Honestly though, if you want a chilled adventure that's good for pick up and play, as a fun storyline and some collectathons as well to really pad things out, and this may well be worth a look on a gameplay front. Graphically then, I actually thought it was really impressive. The models have this really well done anime style to them, which I presume is reflective of more recent episodes and movies, but they almost at times look 2D but with that 3D movement. The animations are particularly impressive, like swinging the net or turning into the butt alien. Each character for sure has their own personality packed in. Locations are nice as well. It's a smaller town, but it has a nice variety, a smaller farm area, even if you have no control over crops. The newspaper, a lab of sorts, a tram and train station. They've done a good job of making it all kind of make sense together in this world. Very few problems as well, honestly, outside of the bugs, meaning insects and not bugs with the game, but I mentioned this already, they can be small. The visual style, though, it can also make it somewhat awkward to line up the net at times, as the depth of the image, it doesn't always come through the cartoon-like style. Audio finally, and I'll keep it quick, some minor character sounds, a decent amount of environmental pieces that make it feel a little more alive than it at times honestly looks, and a really fun soundtrack. One of the elements I really liked, you can visit the local bar and actually remix tracks together from the game, and I guess simply sit back and enjoy the ones you like. Audio then is capped off with some voice acting, but this is reserved for more important narrative moments and key cutscenes only, like breakfast and dinner. I would have loved to have seen voice acting the whole way through, but it's definitely a game with kind of consistent dialogue, and I do understand the omission. So the final verdict, and I went in with next to no expectations, with no real connection to this character either or world. Could have honestly gone either way, but between its fun little overarching dinosaur newspaper story and simplistic tasks, I ended up finding a lot to like. It was just a fun game to relax to, and no matter how simplistic the systems got, it always kind of piqued my curiosity. I always wanted to catch that next bug, fish, or at least push that story forwards. It's definitely not going to challenge you in the slightest. This is a world that's intended to be enjoyed, and you just kind of make your way through it. You know, very much enjoy that scenery, look around, meet the locals. It's just a feel-good game with a solid sense of humour. With that in mind today, it won't be for everyone, but I found a lot of charm in this cast, and it's a great 8 out of 10 from me. It's also priced in what I would consider fairly, given the fact, you know, it's a licensed IP, and not only that, but a massive IP at that, and no doubt they could have gotten greedy and went for AAA pricing, so at least respect for not going quite that high. I am curious though now to see how fans feel about the game, so if you see this after release and you played it, let me know in the comments down below. Did they capture the spirit of the manga and anime? Has it been watered down? How is the translation? All of that good stuff, would love to hear about it in the comments below. With that luck, hit subscribe, but join us here on SwitchCorner for reviews and deals near daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.